Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Politics and Wellness special edition of the Georgia Senate Runoff. What's up, Rico the Brett? What's going on, sir? How are you? Nice to see you and welcome to Politics and Wellness, otherwise known as CCN TV, Cap Hill, all that good stuff. Welcome. This is such an important night for, hey, what's coming on? What's going on, Dominique Graham? How are you? Nice to see everybody here, everybody in the balcony. Welcome. Like I was saying, this is such an important night. This will determine what the next 4 years will look like for this country. And those of you who live in Georgia, Atlanta, Savannah, everywhere else in the state of Georgia, if you were disgusted by the $600 Mitch McConnell gave, or if you didn't even like Mitch McConnell, period, this was your opportunity to let Kentucky know that Mitch was not the way to go. Welcome. Hey, Petty Duke. What's up, Antonio? What's going on, sir? Auntie Donna, my favorite auntie in my head. How are you? It is always great to see you. Happy New Year, everyone. I know the last time we saw each other, it was definitely before the new year. So happy New Year to everyone. And I hope everyone has a prosperous one. And, this might be a good start to actually give this incoming administration a leg up on what's going on. What's going on, Brother Nate? Always nice to see you. So just real quick before I go over to screen share so you can see the numbers and see what it's looking like. This is very important. Right now, the Republicans lead the Senate 50 seats to 48. These two particular wins would put the Senate in a dead tie. And the tiebreaker in the Senate, when it is dead even like that, would be the Vice President of the United States, which is Madam Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. She would be the tie-breaking vote for the Senate. Mitch McConnell then would lose his speakership because he is the leader of the Senate, and he would lose that because the Democrats will then have power of the Senate body, as well as they would also have power in the House. So a lot of the bills and the funding for coronavirus, for PPE programs, for the PPP loans as well, all of those things would be able to be green lighted a hell of a lot quicker than in the present system that we're in. So that's a plus. I mean, of course, not to mention, hey, what's going on, Bench Thinker? Always great to see you. Happy New Year to you. There's no other reason to really see how important your vote is than moments like this. Like I don't particularly like moments like this, but I do, if that makes sense to anyone. And the reason why I enjoy moments like this is because I'm constantly in a debate with someone at some point about, oh, my vote don't matter. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. It doesn't matter. And this is a prime example of when we don't do what we need to do and supposed to do, they then have the power to do whatever they want because they win. You don't show up, they win. It's almost like a no call, no show. If somebody is challenging you to a fight, you know what I'm saying? And the whole school is there, everybody's there waiting to find out how the fight's going to happen, who's going to win. If you don't show up, that person can say anything, and you'll be known as the person that didn't show up. Oh, you were scared, you were a punk, this, that, and the other. And that's just what this is like. It's like when we don't show up and actually vote and think, the system doesn't work for us because, this one and that one's in that pocket, this one's in that pocket. There are glimpses where we can see that, no, actually, there is a lot of, corruption, as there is corruption everywhere, but there's also moments where democracy works when the people actually go out there and vote and put their voices and concerns to paper or to digital ballots, whatever the hell it is. People start to pay attention. Georgia's had so much attention within the last couple of months, ever since the runoff back in November, that people have been scared for this moment, just for this moment. Now, there is a possibility that, Republicans will show out completely, and they may not have liked Trump to be president for the next 4 years, but they weren't going to vote for a Republican senator. They weren't going to vote for a Democratic senator in their state. I mean, that's possible, but within these last few days of all these things that have dropped, from the phone recordings of Donald Trump, which I kind of, on one end, want to see where this leads, because part of me think it was really all a setup to, in fact, if the Democrats do take control of the Senate, then for him to resign and Pence take office for the next, couple of weeks or a week and a half or whatever it is, and then pardon him from federal crimes in the government, still leaving New York and every place else open, and then maybe coming back and saying, I pardon Donald Trump and he goes to Florida, Pence goes back to Indiana, and everything's all good. Part of me thinks that that's a possibility, just like an escape hatch. If we lose Georgia, I don't want to be left sitting here being the president, because we have flipped the new year. Congress has already been sworn in. So anything that they, find criminal or something that they need to look into, they can. And I think Donald Trump a little bit, he might feel, I'm sure he's concerned, but I'm sure he's definitely concerned with this possible outcome. So I think part of it was, and I only say that, and sorry to stop because this thought popped in my head, but the only reason why I say that, I think part of it was a little bit of a setup, because no one on that phone call was like, hold up, Mr. President, I see where you're going with this, but you can't talk like that. Like, you are pushing the boundaries. You could possibly be in trouble with the Elections Commission. You might want to, or is there another line we can have this conversation on? Something should have been said. I mean, if they were actually loyalists like they claim to be, because we remember in the first part of his term, all of these same people were very loyal to Trump. I mean, Kemp, the governor of Georgia, was able to, wipe away 500,000 votes, and no one blinked an eye. We thought it was peculiar. Stacey Abrams won her battles in court, but nobody has brought the governor of Georgia on any kind of charges to where in which he had to step down as governor of Georgia. So I'm sure that the rest of his, the Secretary of State of the state of Georgia, everybody else was okay with however things turned out. They would tweak it if it was close enough. But this happened to not be as close as they needed it to be, to where in which people would not dig into the dirt. And I don't know. I really don't. I have no idea. I'm very curious as to what this will bring. You said go ahead. Go ahead and let him put a fork in a light socket. I mean, yeah. I mean, he needs to. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I think he needs to head on up. But I'm going to share the screen and unmute and stuff so you guys can hear what's going on. Like I said, this is a very interesting time for our nation, for us as a people. and I'll keep saying it, how important it is for us to vote. And again, I'm not saying that we always have to vote Democratic, because we don't. You can vote whoever, is talking your language, but make sure that sometimes with our vote, we can't be selfish. And that is something we have to learn. Like, you can't be selfish with your vote when the majority of your people are suffering. That's where we lose connection. We get to a point where it's like, well, if I'm good, I'm good. And it's like, yeah, you may be good because you was able to, get good however you got there. But remember, you come from a place where you wasn't always good. And you lose that disconnect, and then they just think, well, if I made it, you can make it. And it's like, not everybody has, a lot of those stepping stones to help them, whether they be legal or illegal means. Let's be very clear. A lot of these entertainers that walk around here like, I'm concerned about my taxes going up, that you ain't paid a tax in God knows how long. And if the IRS was really petty and wanted to dig deeper into a lot of these people's backgrounds, they'd be in jail right now, right along with some politicians screaming about how unfair the judicial tax code and everything else is. So they can miss me with all that. But anyway, let me get to it. Let me unmute this board here.
We're still where we were on Rockdale. So again, these counties, you're seeing the blue take shape here. It's
just doing that. Counties. But
name of the game for Democrats right here,
this is a real wait out. So I was waiting on y'all. Happy New Year. Well, thank you, Chocolate Capricorn. Happy New Year to you. This is really just a waiting game. And I don't think
he was several points short of Biden. The county where he missed Biden the most, one of the counties where he was the farthest short of Biden in November, was Fulton County. And right now he's running ahead of the Biden number.
So right now at this point, I don't think, we're not going to jump to anything. This is going to be a long night. Okay. So well before we go to sleep, they may not even have any kind of direct number. Thank you, Antonio. Yep, all this was a Christmas gift. It came in pieces, but it's together, and I like it. It makes me feel like, okay, we're on the right track. So thanks to all of you all for your support and your donations, because, it makes a difference. So thank you so much. And of course, thanks always Black Santa for the Yeti mic. I mean, are you crazy? This thing is enormous. Hey, this beach is better. What's going on, love? How are you? But this will be a very interesting race. What did you say? I'm DeKalb County, second most and
counties that are overwhelmingly
okay. Well, that's good. That's good. But again, it's all about showing up. It's all about showing up. And if the people stay in line and stay ready to go and fired up, you can show these folks, that we're really about business. Well, no, Santa don't know exactly what I like because it's big and black, but it ain't big and black like that. I'm not a fan. But I really hope Georgia does show out because this election has larger ramifications on justice reform. We just learned that the DA will not charge the officer who shot, what was his name? Jacob Blake, the young man who got shot in the back by the police officer when he was trying to, I guess, get into his car and tend to his kids. yeah, the DA will not charge him, so there will be no charges. And having a Senate that would be able to push for these reforms and having officers be held accountable, having control of both houses at this point is vital for Black Lives Matter, for anything where we can move forward or begin to move forward in a progressive manner. Now, I get it. White folks is scared. White folks is scared out their mind. And not all, I'm not saying that, but those who have been very, accustomed and comfortable with the way things were, are scared because they don't know what that means for them. They don't know what it's like to have to be worried about things that we have worried about, going home and making sure you make it home safe as a Black man, because at any moment you can be looked at as a suspect. Just like in New York with that young 15-year-old boy who was attacked by that woman for her cell phone, which she left in the back of a car. It's just ridiculous. So give me 1 second. I'm just going to mute this. So while we get here, but it's just really, really, really sad. And we have to definitely take note that we hold the power in our hands. We definitely hold the power in our hands when it comes to this. Hey, good evening. Good evening. Thank you. Thank you for voting. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for making your voice heard. And that is my hope. I don't really care who you vote for. I'm not here to tell you vote for this one, vote for that one. But I am here to say, hey, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we have. And these are what the two parties are offering. One is offering this, one is offering that. And as an uncle who has young nieces and nephews, even great nieces and nephews, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but I do. It's a lot. It is definitely a lot to be concerned about them as they, just try to live their life. And that they are coming up in a world that is somewhat similar to something that we've read about in history books that we thought we've, and I know a lot of people thought that, we may not have turned the page completely, but there was some sort of bookmark in there to be like, oh, we might be turning the page soon, or we may be, going to a different place. And, to have this president begin to fuel this nation with all this and awaken these kind of racial tensions is crazy. I mean, look at Loeffler herself. She was sitting there taking pictures with a former member of the Ku Klux Klan. But I mean, they don't really have too many former members. Like, I can't see you being a former member, yet you have not spoken out against them. You have not condemned anything they've done, even the Proud Boys situation and or the Michigan militia plans to attack and kidnap the governor of that state. That man never came out to condemn any of that. So I'm just trying to figure out, if you're a former Ku Klux Klan or white supremacist, then why would you not still be, or why would you not at this point be against anything that you hear that may be somewhat pushing the envelope? And we do have to be concerned about that and pay attention. All these politicians that have been strong supporters of Donald Trump, please, in the next 2 years, because it will be their time, remember all of these people. If you live in that particular state, you make sure you show up and vote, just like Georgia right now. You make sure you show up and vote to make them answer for everything that they went along with. Like, even tomorrow, totally almost even missed that this was happening today because I was so thinking about tomorrow's vote. Tomorrow, even though it is more ceremonial than actual anything to do with overturning the election, the fact that we actually have lawmakers who are willing to just throw, norms to the wind at this point and, go through this back and forth of I contest these votes. He didn't really win this election. It's ridiculous. And at this point, it's pretty childish. But we can't just let these people have soundbite moments and move on. We need to hold everybody accountable, and that's all of us. We need to hold all of us accountable. So, but I'm gonna shut up and get back to it.
7:30 Eastern Time. Two important races. Two races, too close to call. Steve Kornacki looking at new numbers while we've been in the break. Back to the big board we go. Hey, Steve.
Yeah. So this is definitely going to be a tight race. Just so you know, it's going to be pretty tight.
45% of the vote in statewide right now. Here you go.
Yeah.
Ossoff, it's about an 8-point margin there, 154,000 votes over David Perdue. Compare that to Warnock, 54.5. Again, 54.5 for Warnock. Take a look at
Getting nervous again. Yeah, I know it can be nerve-wracking.
Better than Ossoff. He's
it definitely is nerve-wracking.
Now, again, we got vote, say 45% in. We do not have 45%.
Yeah, the recording was hilarious. He's like, you don't? You have to see some extra votes. I know you see them. You see them. They're there. I was just like, yo, I can't with him.
Commercial break we can tell you about. Again, these tend to be small. This one is small. This is Dooley County. And you see David Perdue wins
they're
this
just
by
doing
3.6 points.
county by county.
To the Trump number in this county back in November. That's actually down. That's down about a point. Why would that be down about a point? And down about a point, and I should say the Perdue number in this county was 54% back in November. So he's really down a couple of points right here. Dooley has a large black population. We have talked about this band of counties in here, outside Columbus, outside Albany, a little bit to the east of Macon. We've talked about this band of largely rural counties with significant black populations where Democrats believed they had improved turnout among black voters in the early voting period. With all the voting in Dooley County, Perdue is
I think so too, Benj.
Where he finished in November, and Ossoff is several points above. Take a look at the Warnock-Loeffler race here. Again, that tracks about the same, 48.4 for Warnock, a little bit north of the 48.2 for Ossoff. Okay, so the Democrats improved a little bit in a small county, but they improved. And what was the turnout? Relative to the November election, it was down 10% here. So again, we've seen bigger drops than that. 10% is one of the smaller drops we've seen.
Don't get nervous.
It's not the biggest county in the world, but when we get complete counties, that's what we're looking to show you. Another piece of this story I want to pick up because we introduced the possibility earlier that Republicans were having some less than ideal turnout in North Georgia, in the core Republican part of North Georgia.
That part is crazy.
Clear answer to that, but we got a few more counties that are in here. Take a look at Rabun County here.
And a lot of people were denied, which is crazy.
A little bit north of it, if you're David Perdue, the turnout here is only down 12%. So we've seen some other counties in North Georgia where turnout was down more than 12%. 12%. Republicans are hitting that in other counties. That's not a bad number for them to be hitting. We can go next door again. Small county, Towns County right here. Again, looks like the November result. The turnout here down 10%. So you're seeing in two of these other counties in North Georgia, that's more the kind of turnout Republicans are looking for. We don't have a complete picture of it right now. We just don't have enough counties that are in right now. But I want to keep following that story because I know we introduced that possibility. We want to get an answer to that. That's a key question. Two more pieces of the puzzle coming in from North Georgia.
And just to be clear on that metric, when you say the turnout looks to be down about 10% compared with November, that's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the range. range, right? That's what would be a disappointment or worry to Republicans versus something that would make them feel more reassured?
Yeah, the rough number I'm using in my head is anything on either side, a blue county or a red county, where you're off more than 15%.
Yeah.
Right now, that's what that can change as we get more information. But I think if you're at that 10, 11, 12, 13 range, that right now seems to be pretty good for either side. If you're 15, 18, 20,
right,
that seems to be more significant. We saw 23 in one earlier. That's more significant.
Because basically what this means, if Perdue falls from what he was making during the general election when he was on like Trump's ticket, then that would possibly mean that Perdue would definitely lose his seat. Same for Loeffler. That if the votes on their side have dropped, then that would either mean one of two things. The Democratic vote went up, or people just decided not to vote either way, which still affects the outcome. So we definitely have to be mindful.
It's worth just taking a second to think about who should be favored here structurally. Just when we found out it was going to run off. I mean, Perdue beat Ossoff by 2 points. The Loeffler race, which had a bunch of people in it, is a little hard to do apples to apples. But you got two things, right?
I really don't do Chris Hayes too much. He's not my favorite person, but yeah, this is going to be an interesting race. It's going to be a long night. We should have some idea of who possibly will be, and then I'm sure people will do, a lot of the Republicans will do the Trump thing. Oh, it was rigged, and we'll have to go through that for some time. But I'm hoping that people will definitely be able to say what it is and move forward. Yeah, did not receive payment. Yeah, it's really that I can't. And the amount that people have received from that, especially like I did the story this afternoon about the racial disparities, even in the PPP loans, and the amount that a lot of the white areas have received. It's crazy. Crazy. Even when you have places like Portland, who got $1.4 billion, and they decided to take 64 million, only 64 million, and give it to a lot of the Black residents and Black business owners in the state of Portland, in the city of Portland, Oregon, to help them out, because they know that a lot of the businesses, those people use their, the beauty salons and the barbershops, they use their own capital because they know they can't really go to a bank due to credit issues or whatever it is. So they utilize a lot of their own capital or capital from their community. So the lawmakers decided, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this little loan program, almost like a stimulus package, like to help out. And other lawmakers and other people of color blocked it, and they considered it to be racist. And I'm just, I was a bit taken aback because I'm sitting there looking like, but it's $1.4 billion. $1.4 billion, and you worried about a measly 64 million? That's like nothing. But it's like, it's facts that people don't want you to have nothing. They don't care about what you've been through. They don't care what the struggle you have. They don't want you to have it. Even people that we would, walk shoulder to shoulder with, because it's like, well, I'm Black, you're not white, so obviously you are of a different hue, and people still, that's racist. When they were able to get loans, go to the bank, and was able to access the PPP loan and whatever loan they needed to further their business. And when these two communities, the only thing that separates these two communities are zip codes, were denied straight out. And then some that actually got it, they did not get the full amount that they should have. So it's like enough is enough. And like I've said before, moments like this let me know that there is, don't try to be too optimistic because I'm not like, unicorns and candy cane and all that fluffiness. I'm not all about that, but there are glimpses to see that, we are almost like the women of Brewster Place when they was like chipping at the brick wall. Like we are chipping at a wall just to see what the other side is like, fully and truly, equally. Hey, what's up, The Smart Show? What's up going on, Brother Nate? How are you? Nice to see you and Happy New Year. So I just, that is my hope, that we are chipping away at something that they have so structurally used to suppress our voices. The Republicans themselves, all of these problems and the purging of votes and all of this mess that is coming along is everything that the Republicans have been pushing for years and years and years. And these laws have gone by and the states have encouraged them and supported them. And this is a moment where the same stuff that they use to suppress us is now biting them in the ass and they don't know what to do. And that part of it gives me great strength and great courage to know that, we're on the right track, but we got to stay with it. We definitely have to stay with it. So, yeah, and this is starting to get really interesting because we're getting at half the vote, like he said. So, pretty much you have to worry about the last minute counties counting.
But a lot of the rural counties in the sort of Albany area, Southwest Georgia, here's a tiny one. But again, when we get a complete county, I think it's relevant. Clay County, about as small as they get county. Yeah. But look at this. Ossoff, he's over the Biden number here. He's several points over the number that he got out of Clay County back in November. The turnout in Clay County is down 8%. That's a single digit drop.
Yeah. So this is, it's hopeful. It's looking promising. But like I said, it's gonna be a long night.
Population here, and you can see from the Biden number of 47. Couple points above his November number in Early County. The turnout here is off 12%. Take a look next over in Baker County again. Number here, the turnout in Baker is down 8%. One more we can show you, Mitchell County again. This may not look like much, but if there is a trend here, and we've now seen a number of these small rural black counties where Ossoff is running 2-3 points better than Biden, 3, 4, 5 points better than Ossoff himself ran back in November. Turnout's actually down 16% here in Mitchell County. It'd be interesting. Does that mean more is coming out of the Republican hide here potentially? Because there is some significant movement there. So again, you've got improvement in rural black counties. We've seen it now in about a half a dozen counties. You've seen improvement for Democrats relative to what they got out of the November election. One thing to point out here is a sort of a core Republican county, Southwest Georgia. There's Purdue almost at the Trump number, and the turnout here is only off 11%. So turnout-wise, down here right now, we've got a complete rural Republican county. Republicans can't be upset with the turnout there.
Definitely.
But I do think that story, we introduced at the start of the night, how are Democrats going to do in these small counties with large black populations where they felt that in the early voting they were getting signs they were going to do better.
16 coworkers are out. Wow.
I'd say about a half a dozen counties.
Wow, that's crazy.
Fascinating stuff. We're dialed in and with you on all of it.
Yeah, we still need to take this seriously. Like, this coronavirus is real. People are dying out here. And the country needs help. And we can't have lawmakers who are going back and forth just because they want to, because they're mad that their party person did not win the election, so they're gonna block everything. We're hurting enough. We don't need that, and I think this should definitely be a memorandum on Mitch McConnell. I mean, not for nothing. $600 is nothing. People are still so behind on bills and stuff. $600. Please.
I lost the presidency. The Democrats control the House. Let's not give the Democrats a trifecta. But Trump won't even admit he's lost. Neither will many of his party.
So we shall see. And then tomorrow's mess. I can't wait for that. It's going to be ridiculous. I keep saying I will live on personal knowledge and experience.
What is the turnout in Fulton County, DeKalb County, Cobb County, the big
Oh, wow.
that are going to produce big
Yeah, you should. You should. I mean, because it's definitely important and it's needed. It's needed. We definitely need to have those voices out there. Hey, Miss T, how are you? Great to see you. Happy New Year to you. Always great to see you. This has been a crazy, crazy, crazy night.
Or the sedition caucus or the clown car, whatever your preferred title for the esteemed group in the U.S. Senate. What Donald Trump has decided his vice president's role is other than MC. And this is going to be a big week.
It is going to be a big week, Brian, and I don't think you can undersell what David just said about what Donald Trump has done to the GOP.
They did, yeah.
The culmination of which will occur tomorrow should Stupid actually show up and try to say that the election of 2020 was won by
unemployment. Wow.
That has been an underlying narrative which has slowed the role.
That's crazy.
For Republicans on the ground.
That is crazy, but that's that lack of concern because people that it's affecting don't look like you.
And activists have been able to build to sort of stave off what is a traditional tidal wave for Republicans in special elections. The history is there. Democrats have only won 1 out of 8 special elections. And
that is true.
For a state seat, not a federal office. So the deck was immediately stacked against Democrats in this race.
Right.
Donald Trump effectively added bricks to Stacey Abrams' wall.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, I mean. The reason that I know why she is the speaker is kind of the same reason why she should not be the speaker. Because again, if the party is moving in a different direction, then she should have stepped down. But she may do, and this is me just being optimistic about it. She may, do a term where she there for a while and then she may step down and let someone else do it. I think that would be the best move. A lot of these politicians are old as dirt. I mean, her herself, she's in her 80s. It's like, do you really want somebody prying the speakership out of your, God forbid, of course, but dead cold hands for what? Like, you've amassed a fortune. Why not just, do what you need to do and bow out gracefully and allow somebody else younger to be able to take on the reins and actually do something? I don't know. I just find it to be like a bit much that we don't get term limits. Like, I think members of Congress and lawmakers should have term limits. And that should be it, whatever it is, how many election cycles it should be, and let that be it. Go do something else. Let younger people, other people, not even younger, but, more experienced people maybe dealing with actual world problems and issues come into a space and create laws and make changes that will then help people. Instead of this, you sitting somewhere, you're so removed from the people that you're actually affecting, but you don't care as much to say, what I'm doing is actually hurting my constituents instead of helping them, because I'm more concerned about getting elected. So I'm clinging on to whatever, however the wind blows, instead of really taking just a step back and really looking at what's going on. Rue should have done that before Rock left. What's that? Yeah, I agree that Ruth should have done that before Barack left, but I I believe though too they saw Trump coming on the horizon, and they didn't want to, um, because once Barack was elected, the Tea Party was rampant, and everybody's surprised about how Donald Trump talks, but you know those of you who were watching early on in President Barack Obama's uh, in transition, they were out there. They were calling him everything, a monkey or this or that, and it was just nonstop. I mean, the children. So this was nothing new. Trump just became the figurehead, and everybody kind of ran behind him. But they've been talking this trash, this racial divide since he came in, and they tried to make it like, well, see, he caused it. No, he didn't cause it. It's just something that you are uncomfortable seeing. You didn't want to see a person, a black man, let alone any person of color, be in the White House, because you've always, your whole life has been, these forefathers created this nation, which was a lie. These founding fathers, these pillars, these rapists, these, slave owners did so much for this country and gave so much to these people. Which is, complete BS. But, you tell somebody a fairy tale enough, they'll believe it. How you think Disney is able to make so much money? Because, you tell children, wait for your prince or your princess and whatever. Wish on a star that you'll get that, you'll find that person. They still make money today off of a fantasy of what? What? Like what are you teaching? Somebody who, himself, Disney was a hater of Jews. Black people too, I'm sure, but but we don't like to talk about that. Nobody wants to kind of put Mickey Mouse in a box like that. Nobody wants to cancel Mickey, but I mean, the reality is it is what it is, which is crazy.
Steve Kornacki is about to show us at the big board. Steve? Yeah, Brian, big picture, more than half of the vote is in. Now, you can see that Democratic lead. It's dwindling here. It's under 100,000 in the Ossoff-Purdue race. It's still about 116,000 in the Warnock-Leffler race. Warnock continuing to outpoll Ossoff. These rural Republican counties are filling in and bringing that margin closer. There is still a lot.
This is going to be a very tight, close race. This is not going to be a landslide. This is going to be so tight that they're going to do some runoffs.
Okay, in November, the margin right now for Purdue is about 2 points. And by the way, that 12.5-point margin for Trump was more than 20 points in 2016. This is one of these counties where you got a lot of college degrees, you got some suburban areas, residential areas. It has been moving dramatically away from Trump, okay, in the Trump era. That was a huge jump for Democrats in 2020.
And for me, I'm over the fact that these two senators was able to make so much money off of knowing secrets about the coronavirus. No, there wouldn't be another runoff, but they would be able to refute the results. So they would be going back and forth to court trying to, certify the election, almost like how the general election was going on. So that's the only headache that would come. Hit the final results on Saturday. Maybe so. Hey, Tanari, how are you? Happy New Year to you. Yes, it is a bit of a nail biter. Yeah, so no, there will not be another runoff, but they will be able to, contest. the results.
That the vice president has the power to just throw out election results from individual states.
No, he doesn't.
Those results. That, of course, is not true. The vice president does not have that power.
He sure does not.
Look at this. The New York Times is reporting that Vice President Mike Pence has told President Trump that he doesn't have that power, that he
doesn't
can't
care.
personally throw out election results from the states, even if the president
He don't care. He wants him to. He doesn't care.
Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. She's the top Democrat on the Senate Rules Committee.
No one's ever told him what he can't do. So of course,
The electoral college votes
he doesn't.
tomorrow. And if you want to know how this whole objections mishigas is going to go, it's actually Senator Klobuchar, who in that role is going to be leading the Democratic response to those objections as they are debated on the Senate floor. Sounds both fun and also,
yeah, it can be tiring, but
Senator, it's nice to see you. Thanks so much for making time.
We can take a breath if we won't have another runoff
so excited about
after this.
And the economic focus, the focus on helping people through the pandemic, the fact that may win out over this attempts at voter suppression and everything that Donald Trump and the Republican leadership have done. So
Yeah.
I'm just smiling about that.
And that's another thing. Like, we still have to remember that the Affordable Care Act is on the line. From whatever happens tonight, the Affordable Care Act is on the line. Abortion rights, women's rights, LGBT rights. I can keep going. It's not just about, having control and kind of sticking it to Mitch McConnell. It's so further, far more entailed. Given a trip. That's crazy. No way. Although I did hear that they vandalized his house as well. I also heard that they vandalized Nancy Pelosi's house, which I thought was a stupid move, because she is third in line to be the president of the United States. So you already know Secret Service, FBI, they are all on it. Yeah, there's a lot on the line. So we definitely, we can't take none of this lightly. Hey, what's going on? Happy New Year to you. I am well. Hopefully you are too. It is always great to see you here. There's just so much going on.
So talk about what the vice president can do and can't do.
God, you were sending me that.
Claire, and Vice President Pence has now admitted it himself.
Golden Goods, how are you?
The presider. His job is to
this is just ceremonial tomorrow, but
very clear that Congress is
I don't want
simply
people to sit here and
accepting and
act
counting
fool.
these votes. There's a provision for objections. It's been used twice.
Yeah, we really need these seats. Like, if you even voted for Biden thinking, we can move forward, the only way we move forward is by getting these seats. Other than that, Mitch McConnell will drag the rest of this nation down, and they will go back and forth. They will go back and forth. And unfortunately, there's nothing we'd be able to do but ride it out yet again. The vandalism of it all. Right. I mean, we need everything.
We are just coming up on 2 hours since polls closed in Georgia. We've got more than half the vote in, and it's still coming in fast. Steve Kornacki's raring to go. We'll be right back with him just after this break. Stay with us.
So, yeah, this is 1 second. I wish I could just hit a button and it just does it on its own, but it doesn't work that way. This will be a nail biter. I am prepared for all night. I am prepared for early morning. We still don't have all the votes in. I'm prepared for Loeffler's campaign team as well as Purdue's team, if they happen to lose, to call file, and the same stuff that Donald Trump is talking about right now, they will be talking about it. They will be saying, oh, the governor didn't do his part. The Secretary of State didn't do their part. And just like the Secretary of State, Georgia, the one, he was getting death threats and he went off on the people, like tell them to stop. And that's, now, mind you, I'm not a fan of the man because he's done his dirt for Kemp when Kemp was running in the gubernatorial race against Stacey Abrams. But, Trump folks, they just, I don't even know what to say. I really don't. They are supposed to be in D.C. They have been entering in D.C. tonight. Tomorrow they're supposed to be holding a demonstration against the process of the Congress, the body of Congress, basically just reading off the electoral college votes. Nothing that can really stop or give President Donald Trump the election back. This is just ceremonial. But of course, when you don't know nothing about your history, you think anything, I can do whatever I want to do because I'm the president. And it doesn't work that way. But I don't know. Maybe somebody should have told him. And that's the thing that kills me. It's like you have all these people around you who are sycophants of you for whatever reason. And I like to think that it's strictly about whatever money they can funnel from whatever kind of situations that they are crooked in. Because it's like, well, if you're crooked and I'm crooked, I'll attach myself to you. So therefore, you're not going to tell on me, long as everything's good, I'm not going to tell on you. We'll just be crooked together. I think a lot of these politicians are just riding this crooked wave, getting this money. And the same ones that sit there and look at us and go, oh, we're milking the system, are the same ones who are actually using the system and milking the hell out of it. And getting big time dollars. Like, we're not talking about little stuff. They are getting big time dollars. You see how just these two senators, David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler, they, were intel about secret things about the coronavirus and stuff of that nature, and started making calls to their people to be like, hey, pull these stocks, sell this, sell that, and made buku money. So it's real disgusting. It really is. The level that these people will go it's really sad. At the same time, when people suffering.
From the new administration. At this hour, at the top of the hour at 9 o'clock Eastern, polls have been closed in Georgia for 2 hours.
Yeah. So this will be, like I said, this will be a very tight nail biter. Lady G, I can't stand Lady G. Lady G gets on my nerves. And I'm so mad that if there ever was a race that I was very disappointed in, Jamie Harrison race with Lady G, I'm just disgusted because I'm just like, you really cannot, that man, just no backbone, no integrity. Yeah, Lindsey Graham, Lady G, I can't stand, and I don't like to I can't stand that man. Just the most just spineless, running to this one, you run to that one side, whoever is kind of in the popular thing. People like that, even in school, I was just like, get out of here. Like, be yourself. Be yourself. Hey, what's going on? TC, how are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Happy New Year to you. It is nice to see you. This is just really, this is great. Yeah, no integrity whatsoever. None. It's getting tight. I know. No, he was going to say that. Yeah. He started to change though before McCain was declining in health, he started to he was meeting with Trump a lot. And I'm just like, but that's your best friend, and he's calling him a coward and all this kind of stuff. And this is your best friend, and you're okay with that? I'm disgusted. Totally disgusted.
Ossoff continues to run about 0.4 of a point, about half a point.
Yeah.
Warnock. This has been consistent.
He's not going to. It's not going to be no drag out where the lead is going to be over the top.
The difference of half a point between these candidates lands one on the winning side
and one on the losing side. Yeah.
I'm not making any predictions here. I'm just saying these are looking close.
They're going to be really tight.
The difference between the two of them has been pretty stubborn as we've worked our way up to 60% of the vote.
And we're going to go through the back and forth.
And as you can see, this is getting closer and closer right here.
Why
is it getting closer and closer? I mentioned a minute ago, a lot of the small rural counties, red counties, especially down South Georgia, were really starting to fill in. We just got a big one, and we've kind of hyped this one. So now we've got kind of an answer. Cherokee County, sort of this periphery of the Atlanta metro area.
I promised myself I wasn't going to stay up all night and watch this. Oh, why? Well, I mean, I get it. It makes some people nervous and it's not exciting. But for me, all of this is just like, it's like Christmas all over again. It's really, I get hyped about it. Especially when my people turn out and vote. And even if we don't win, which God forbid, of course, but I am very proud of the moves that the people have made to get people out there and vote. That has been so promising.
Just came crashing down that Democratic lead on it again. You see Warnock 32.3% in Cherokee County, Ossoff 0.6 of a point lower, 31.7%. So again, 61% of the
yeah, but nobody should have to be your moral check for you, though. Like that's my issue with Lindsey Graham. Like another person always had to check you about your morals. That's a problem.
Obviously, no surprise. We paid a lot of attention early on in the night to the Atlanta metro area, and we're now kind of in a waiting game. Cobb County, we got a lot to come in. I think this is the mail vote in Cobb County. I think that's what we're looking at right now.
That's
the Democrats
crazy.
Did a few points better in the mail vote in Cobb County than they did back in November, but we got to see, how do they do in the early vote? How do they do in the same day vote? That remains to be seen. DeKalb County, again, this is going to be an 80-something% county for Democrats, but we're only looking at less than a third of it right here.
Sorry,
Gwinnett County, another enormous one for Democrats. We're waiting on that. Fulton County, again, we still have some of the same day vote to come in Fulton County. We still have some mail-in vote to come in Fulton County. And we set this up. We've been tracking this throughout the night. The last time we checked in, the numbers have not changed since the last time we checked in here in Fulton County. But the question here for Ossoff, the question here for Democrats,
can he get more than Biden?
Above the number that Joe Biden got in Fulton County. Again, I'd say it was about 45 minutes ago. My sense of time is not great right now, but I'd say about 45 minutes ago we checked in. We haven't got any new votes since then. Again, there are some same-day votes to come in Fulton County. They should be Democratic, but they'll be the least Democratic, if you follow, of all the votes that get counted in Fulton. And then
I get that. I definitely get that.
Mail-in ballots. Those should be the most Democratic of the different kinds of votes. So the potential exists there for Ossoff to finish above Biden and Fulton. And again, the potential certainly exists for Warnock, who is outpacing Ossoff, Fulton and elsewhere, to also finish above that Biden number. As we say, the Biden number is sort of a good North Star for Democrats as we go county to county. Biden won the state. Hit the Biden number. Exceed the Biden number if you're a Democrat. You can just see what the targets are here. Cobb County, the target's 56%. Again, you are looking at mail vote right now. As the same day comes in Cobb, that will come down. Do the Democrats land north of that Biden number in Cobb County? That's a big one. Gwinnett County. We're looking at the mail
Steve deserves everything. He is always on it. Steve is definitely always on it. I don't watch nobody else. I don't do a CNN. With this, that man, he numbers it just in his head. Like, he kills it with the statistics, like just flat out.
Let's see here. Bartow County, we're at 20%. And let's take a look. Paulding County. This is an interesting one that we don't have all the voting in Paulding County.
I'm going to get him a new blow-up mattress because I'm sure he sleeps at the studio, especially during an election year. He sleeps there, I'm sure.
Less Republican than it used to be. And you can see here, Trump won it by 29. Okay, the margin right now is, there it is. That is, when you see 95, it's a very complicated accounting story, but 95, we think we got all the votes.
It's pretty much.
Verify that right now. When we verify it, we move it up to 100, but when you see 95,
it's pretty much is done.
Needlessly confusing. But when it gets to 95, that generally means we think, pending a check, we think we've got all the votes. So here you go. Paulding County, this is a big one where Donald Trump got 64% of the vote, where Joe Biden got just under 35% of the vote. Here's Warnock. He's more than 3 points above the Biden number. This is not a Democratic county, but remember, if you're a Democrat and you're trying to win in Georgia, Joe Biden won in Georgia, getting 34%.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Paulding County,
he does make you like hype.
30% of the vote in Paulding County. He did not win the county, but that's good news for a Democrat to be running above that Biden number.
How about Ossoff there?
Let's take a look at the Ossoff. Okay, 37.7. So under the Warnock number, but over
the Biden number.
Points, the Biden number. And this is one of those, I mean, just, go back in time. Look at this. 2016, Donald Trump wins this county by 41 points. Fringe Atlanta metro area. There's been, even in the Republican counties, there's been a reaction against Trump. 41 points for Trump in 2016. Trump's on the ballot again in November, 29 points. And tonight, looks like about 24 and a half points in these Senate races. It's come down, it's come down, it's come down. Progress for Democrats right there.
Chipping away at it.
I just want to check in one more time here on Cherokee County if we got anything else. We didn't. It doesn't look like they brought the Republican number down too much in Cherokee, but in Paulding County they did. If they can do that in Paulding, here's another one we want to keep an eye on. Forsyth. This is the same story in Forsyth County, Republican County. How Republican tonight we want to see. So if the Democrats keep those numbers down in a few of these, and if they beat the Biden numbers in these Atlanta metro counties, we're just checking in again statewide, could be a recipe for them. And it's tight. 12,400.
Yeah, these Senate seats are going to be crucial.
37,000. That's the pad for Warnock. See that? 1.4 points, 37,000 votes. For Ossoff, 0.4 points. That's a 1 point difference now. That's a 25,000 vote difference between Warnock and Ossoff. I want to go look right now and see if there's one particular place where that's coming from. But again, incredibly close races. They're both leading right now. They're both ahead in the tally right now. But if there is a 25,000 vote difference between these candidates, it opens up the possibility of a split verdict here tonight. I'm not predicting anything, but I do think
which would be just as bad. Because right now the Republicans do lead Senate seats 50 to 48.
Republican-leaning counties talking about those interesting margins.
So pretty much we need these seats, period. We must win these seats. There's no other alternative. If we don't win both seats, Mitch McConnell still has the majority of the Senate, and he will drag these 4 years under Biden for as long as he can. Okay? And I'm pretty sure he's probably done told the people nobody but his death would change this situation, because he has dug in his heels with his old demagoguery. He's, there's no changing him. Okay? No changing him. Those of us who have grandparents, they get to a certain age and it's like that nasty, that if you wasn't an older person, you'd probably get some words back. I'm pretty sure Mitch McConnell is there. I mean, I'm sure Nancy Pelosi is there. Which, why they should have term limits. I can't with you, Nate. I'm sure it can too, but I'm not talking about it. I mean, hell, it really don't matter if I do. They already How to get me. Not your blood pressure medication. You're too young for that, boy.
62.3. So let's see the final precinct or two here. We'll update that when we get it. That's why I say we put 95 and not 100. We want to verify it. But you are looking at the vast majority of the vote in Paulding County right now.
Brian Williams, Nicole Wallace, Joy Reid, watching all of these numbers come in, watching this unfold. I'm watching you on the monitor. I'll take your reading glasses off, which is horrible.
All at the same time. Right. I'm already blacklisted, so why not?
I meant what I said.
What did you say? We have.
Nobody is allowed to either feel hope nor dread.
Okay.
This early on an
Wow.
election when there's 40% of the vote.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you got to start in that. Like, hey, you got to start early. Get out there, let the people know, who you are.
They have to be cautiously optimistic that their candidates are doing what they need.
What we need to be doing.
I tell you, my name is Joy, and I allow myself to feel nothing.
We can't.
We have to feel nothing.
Can't wait till it's time to go out and vote, and then we want to complain about what lawmakers don't do or haven't done for us. We need to be doing that from the beginning.
People were fairly pessimistic, but they're Democrats. Democrats are always pessimistic. It's kind of what Democrats do, right? And over time, the pessimism has waned, I have to say. And there is a bit more optimism. And I'll give you the few factors that people are talking about that I think we should be focusing on. And you've been focusing on something that's very important, Rachel, which is the
she thorough research. Okay, her book with the Russia collusion and all that is very thorough. I mean, the same stuff that she does on her show, she just basically put it in a book, and it's blow by blow. So it's really interesting. And Malcolm Nance, if you're into like kind of espionage and spy kind of stuff, he goes at the Russians in that way. So you get to know all the backstories, and I like his books as well.
But she doesn't have a history there. She doesn't have a history in the state. There is a sense that she bought her seat, that she came in as this rich lady to just sort of waft in. And that's not me saying that.
Yeah, we have boots on the ground. That's awesome.
Vicious campaign.
Yeah, that's where it's got to be. Boots got to be on the ground, like right after general elections. Boots should be on the ground, telling people about who's running where, and their platforms. We don't have any time to like sit back and breathe, and no, we never do. Not when it comes to this.
Then she ran a campaign in which she attacked Ebenezer Baptist Church and its pastor. That her strategy has been so focused on beating up the black church and black liberation theology, which every black church engages in.
The same thing.
The black church has done. It's why the black church is the core of the civil rights movement.
Well, some of them.
And then the last factor I'll throw in is Trump. Donald Trump, has an Obama problem, right? Whenever Obama would run, whenever there would be a midterm, a lot of Obama voters didn't show up for the midterm. They only show up when his name is on the ballot. Same thing with Trump voters. He's like the bizarro world Obama. His voters don't necessarily show up when he's not on the ballot. And then last thing I'll say is he's been telling them for weeks that the election is BS and that it's all rigged. Why bother? It's all just a ruse and you shouldn't bother. That can't help.
But he likes
himself. He suppressed his own vote.
He likes talking BS because nobody acts like they don't remember. In 2016, he said this same thing. If I don't win, it's rigged. If I don't win, it's rigged. He didn't even think he was going to win because he was ready to start talking the rig stuff, the same thing.
So, here we go, Brian. 2/3 in right now, just a little shy of 2/3. And you can see David Perdue has jumped John Ossoff in the vote count. A 16,000 vote lead right now, 0.6
Sorry about that.
Perdue up in this one. Take a look. Warnock still up about 8,800 votes over Loeffler in the tally right now, about 2/3 in statewide. So right now, where we are in the tally is Warnock still has
Secretary
more
of
votes than
State
Loeffler.
said, don't
Perdue,
expect
about 17,000
the results tonight. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure of it. I'm sure you'll have close numbers, but you won't know for sure because they will be counting votes.
here's Purdue. We said there were, last time we checked in, we were getting close. There were more precincts. With the more precincts that came in, Purdue has now moved above that number, above that Trump number. Again, by historical standards, 69.7 is not a great number for a Republican in Cherokee County, but for a Republican trying to just scrape by in this election here, in this runoff election, to be a point above Trump in Cherokee County, that's a good sign in that county for Republicans. Again, we want to, there may still be some outstanding votes.
And that's why they're saying on the other end, Ossoff has to be well above Biden's numbers to win the state. So if Warnock and Ossoff can push past Biden's, then there's still a chance.
66% county, you see Purdue sitting at 50, just under 53% right now. You say, oh, Purdue's doing terribly. This is the mail-in vote that's been counted here. This is the best vote Democrats are going to get. The question, as the same-day vote comes in, as the early vote comes in again, is does Purdue get to that number? Does he get to that Trump number? Does he exceed that Trump number? Republicans don't want to be hitting Trump numbers. Trump lost the state. Republicans want to be exceeding Trump numbers. So what we just saw in Cherokee County, does that happen? Does David Perdue do that in Forsyth County? For that matter, does Kelly Loeffler do that? Here's Warnock at 48.2 in the mail. Here's Ossoff, a point under what Warnock got. This is the mail vote. Ossoff in the mail vote, running a point behind Warnock. Again, that's something we've been seeing. Forsyth is one of these counties.
They've always done that.
It's Forsyth. It's one of these counties.
They've run their whole freedom from slavery on that, on Moses saving them, or that whole.
So we want to see, does Purdue hit the Trump number? Does he exceed the Trump number? But Cherokee, Forsyth, big batches of votes coming in those, and you could see the margin now statewide.
It's getting tight, getting real tight.
Democratic votes just came in, but Purdue's lead 11,643. We have 2/3, 66% of the vote in. Up to 14.
Yeah, because if Ossoff can beat Biden numbers and Purdue can stay under Trump numbers or Trump numbers, it could make a hell of a difference.
I said this might be faster than election day. A little before 9 o'clock back in November, 25% was in. So they are counting much, much quicker here. 2/3 of the vote in, one Democrat's up in the vote count, one Republican's up. Still got a lot.
It's the most racist county in the world. I'm surprised they're voting 100% GOP. Yeah, and that's the thing that they try to kind of code over, that this is about race. This is definitely about race.
Savannah was important. Chatham County was important.
This is
if you think
all about race right now.
Vote count in Georgia back in November. This is another one.
That woman has pretty much called that minister everything but a child of God.
So let's not sleep on. Let's not forget Chatham County, where Savannah is.
She's a trip.
That's where the city of Columbus is.
But she's doing.
Here we go with not half the vote in. Core Democratic county. Here's an interesting one. Columbia County. This is the same story.
Yeah, once the mailing, he may, but it's still going to be very tight. And I'm sure Purdue, as well as Loeffler, will, put up a fight to have it counted 3 and 4 times.
But a lot of the votes still to come in here in Columbia County. So again, Atlanta metro area.
But this is going to be a long night. But again, I am hopeful that things, will turn around and victory will come.
We don't have enough to give you the complete turnout rate, but sort of Republican counties up here. So there are some areas out there, for Democrats certainly to be looking at here. Some big areas for Republicans, kind of a scattering of areas. And let me go consult our spreadsheet here and see what the next chapter in the story is.
All right. Wait, no, I'm not going to let you go. No,
right.
I'm sorry. I'm paying you by the word tonight.
Not paying you by the word.
Gwinnett, are they all still down in the 30% in range?
Yeah, let's take a look here in Cobb. Yeah, we're sitting now. Okay, so now what we are
sure do.
Remember, I believe it was 31 or 33% in the last time we checked in Cobb County. What you were looking at Cobb County the last time we checked in was the mail vote. It was 66 and change for Ossoff. So he's come down. This means we are starting to count up early vote. We're starting to count same day vote or early vote. Ossoff is sitting here at 64-6. Warnock 65-4. Again, 0.8 of a point. Warnock running 0.8 of a point above Ossoff in Cobb County. What is the
definitely close race, very tight.
Again, Biden got 56.3% of the vote. A double-digit win here for Joe Biden. A 14-point victory for Joe Biden. So there's room, certainly, as that same day comes in, there's room for Democrats to lose some ground here and still beat out Biden. They want to be north of that 56.3. By the way, Cobb County, it's one of these counties. We now talk about it like it's a core Democratic county. It was shocking for Hillary Clinton to win this county in 20s. You used to think of Cobb County just like you thought of Cherokee County. Hillary Clinton flipped it in 2016.
Well, people didn't vote, really. I mean, a lot of people did not vote for Hillary, and that's just the reality of it.
In Cobb County. So keep an eye there. Let's take a look in Gwinnett County. Again, a lot to come. We basically had to mail in Gwinnett. Again, with a target here for Democrats in Gwinnett County, Biden was able to get 58.4%.
And not to mention that Governor Kemp has a lot of money coming into the state that if he finagles this or messes with this in any way, he could have some big contracts leaving his state, which, then leaves the state needing money. I mean, talk about Tyler Perry all you want, but I'm sure, if he picked up that studio and took it someplace else, Georgia's governor would be hurting. The people of Georgia would hurt. They brings in a lot of money, so he has to be careful with anything he does. Hey, Virginia Redbone. See, there you go. You're yelling again. What's going on? Nice to see you, but you are yelling.
And I just want to let's take a look here in Clayton County. 75%.
Said you live in Atlanta.
I believe this is about where we were before.
Cobb County, Gwinnett County, are moderate.
Warnock,
oh, okay.
Warnock and Ossoff actually very close here. This is the closest I've seen them tonight. Ossoff 89.1, only 0.1 of a point behind Warnock, 89.2%. One more we can check in on here. Coweta County.
Oh, you good? I'm just messing with you.
Is in right here. And again, this is in that sort of Atlanta, sort of ex-urban area here. Here's running ahead of the Trump, but a lot of votes to come. Purdue,
yeah, they don't look at it like that. That's just like with Ossoff going to the slutty vegans restaurant, and then he's like, well, I'll just stick to my beef and burgers at, a white establishment. That's what Purdue took pictures with. It's just like, come on. Come on.
For the Republicans, the name of the game is be above that Trump number. For the Democrats,
that state is changing. A lot of the states across the country are changing, and they just got to get with it. But we have to keep, the pressure to them as well. Clayton is usually 85% Democratic. She's like 82%. Fulton is like 10%. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not from Atlanta. I haven't gone since I was like a teenager for a college tour.
For that gain that we just saw for the Republicans, about 10,000. Okay, let's take a look at Walton County.
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to project.
This is a core Republican county. It hasn't been trending away from the Republicans the way some
like, see, even her numbers, she's right now under Trump's numbers. Because that's important.
You get 70% of the vote in a place like Walton County. 2/3 of it gets reported out. You can see Purdue is at 70.5, Loeffler's at 70.2. But we want to see what happens when the rest of these votes get counted up in Walton County, because even though in the short term that has lifted Loeffler statewide, that has lifted Purdue statewide, if they don't end up hitting that Trump number, that is going to be offset when we get the rest of the Atlanta metro area, when we get Columbus, when we get Savannah. So this is a big dump of vote in a very Republican county, a sizable Republican county. But let's see. Do they climb an additional 4 points? Do Loeffler and Perdue climb an additional 4 points and hit that Trump number
I don't
when
know.
all is said and done? Because you can get 70% in the county if you're a Republican, but if Trump got 74, that's actually bad news for you.
No problem, Tanari. Thank you for stopping by. I mean, they're not, and I'm not going to stay on here that long. I'm going to hop off and keep everybody posted on my community wall because I still have stuff to do. So I'm not gonna keep everybody, but it's important that we, even though we may not live, some of us may not live in the state, it still affects us. So, these are moments that I like to show that, voting does matter. Like, yeah, we may not win all the time, but there are glimpses that if we actually, put our feet to the ground and watch and pay attention to what's going on, read up on the people's platforms, get involved, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's just your circle of friends, you don't have to go out and do community kind of push if that's not your thing, but you can start small. You can, engage with your friends and kind of get an understanding of what their interests are as far as the community. And hey, if you know about a particular candidate that is pushing those things, let them know. And that's how we begin to grow and know it and move forward. This whole this party has been taking advantage of us. Yeah, that part is true. But we've also let that party take advantage of us. And that part is also true. We can't sit here and act as if, they've just willfully took advantage of us and, we were helpless in the matter. No, that's not true. We allowed that to happen. And now moving forward, thank God we're waking up to know our power and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to allow this. You're going to give me, give us things that we need in our community. So, what are you say? Someone tried to hack into the online service today. Wow, that's crazy. I'm not surprised. I did drop the link for anybody who wants to pop on. The rule of thumb, please don't be disrespectful. You can have a difference of opinion, and that's perfectly fine. But please let it be based in some sort of fact and research and not just how you feel. Because we can talk about how we feel all day with all that is going on in our communities. But the reality is the lawmakers are the ones who are able to safeguard these laws that would allow a police officer to shoot a young man in the back 3 times and not be charged with any crime. These laws and the lawmakers who create them are the ones who allow for Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, all these things to happen. And that is my issue, that if we, can sit back for 4 years or however long it is, and then once somebody's running, talk about, oh, but this one haven't done anything. They use our votes. And you watch these people die. It's like, why didn't you say something then? Why aren't you talking then? Why do you always wait till it's time to actually show up to then, deter people from actually voting, the ones who are paying attention, who are seeing these people die in the streets and not get any kind of justice for being murdered. I mean, I've seen some of the police cam footage of the Ahmaud Arbery shooting, and there's no way you can sit here and tell me that those cops felt as if McMichael and any of them were murderers. They really just felt like they were victims.
Talk tonight, especially with Steve Kornacki, about the counting of the vote, about the vote remaining. Let's actually watch the process. Priscilla Thompson has made her way to a vote counting location in Gwinnett County in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Priscilla, tell us what's going on.
Well, Brian, I'll give you a live look at what happens once polls close in these counties. So those election workers gathered their materials and they are coming here.
Oh, yeah, no, I know, but I mean, like I said, it's possible because it's too close. But they've been watching that though. I will say that since the election 2016 and knowing that the Russians were helping Trump, they really have been tightening in on that. Yeah, this is very, very close. This will be very close. Tabulating the actual votes that are coming out of these various polling locations. But don't get discouraged. Please don't get discouraged. State's office, and I'm going to sort of keep taking you through this building because there's a little bit more here to show. So we talked about those stations where workers are turning things in. I want to show you the line of polling precincts workers that are still waiting to get through and turn their stuff in. The election administrator here tells us that they do this in batches, so they'll see about what's going on, sir. People come in at a time. Yeah. Be going through the night, and there are observers in here, both Democrats and Republicans.
Y'all weren't gonna stress me out tonight.
This process unfolding.
Hold on
and
a second.
The last point that I want to make is that the Board of Elections here in Gwinnett County is also here, back here in this area.
What'd you say?
I said I had to take my blood pressure medication. Y'all weren't gonna stress me out tonight.
Like I said, you too young for that, sir. But yeah, no, I mean, it's gonna be a long night. I didn't expect it to be anything than what it is right now. I already knew that this was gonna be a long night, a nail biter, but my hope was that the people actually showed up, that they didn't let 2020 November just be a fluke of I didn't want Trump. Like, no, I don't want Trump. I don't want, anybody who's agreed with him. I want everybody out. Hey, what's up, Starbella? How are you? Welcome. Happy New Year to you.
It looks like a lot of states and stuff are going blue, like including
counties.
Georgia.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Counties.
no, you're fine.
And that's a step. I mean,
it's that's the part. Like, it's like playing a game. Like you practice, you do what you need to do, you train, and then you compete. You don't know what the outcome will be, but you still compete. And that's what I want people to go away with. Like, still compete. We may not win all of them, but you got to compete. You cannot compete and then say it's unfair. Yeah, we know that. But the only way we change it is if we get in the game.
Right.
Hold on. I was trying to... How you doing, brother? What's going on, sir?
Hey, Nate.
Wait a minute, I'm getting some feedback. Let me change up.
Did you have the window open? You might have to close the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, that's better. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, Antonio, how you doing, man?
I'm good, and you?
Doing all right. Well, somebody so young going with high blood pressure.
Right.
Bad genetics.
Bad genetics.
Mm-hmm. Well,
with genetics, you never know.
Eating all that beef and pork.
See, I don't eat beef or pork.
Oh.
You know, you be practicing that. You be practicing that pushback from table. You know, that's the problem.
If I can get back to my high school weight, I'll be good.
I'd be happy with my pre-Rona weight.
Pre-Rona.
Yeah. I slapped 20 pounds on and 2 bra cup sizes.
Bro.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I
was playing with these people down here. When they said lockdown, I locked down.
Right.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you don't mind me asking, what state are you in, Nate?
I'm in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'm in Maryland.
Oh, you in my hometown. That's what's up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Be more.
Right on here in B-more.
Right.
Now I'm about to get real nosy. What high school you go to?
Northwestern.
Oh, okay. All right. I went to Woodlawn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well, that makes me happy. I don't get to speak to many Baltimoreans.
Now I can speak to you in my Baltimore slang.
See, I try to hide it because people always make fun of me if I'm not around people from Baltimore.
From Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep, exactly, Baltimore.
I think it's funny. People are like, "Oh, you're from Baltimore." I'm like, "Where?" What is Baltimore? I don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah, from the Heights, boy. What you talking about?
Mondawmin
Mall.
Mondawmin Mall. I've been there once. And
you're not missing much. I promise you, you're not missing much at all.
Nope.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. That's where all that with the Freddie Gray stuff. That's where it all popped off at.
That's where it all popped off at. Yeah.
I was actually living over there when they did that. Man, it was crazy. It was people everywhere.
Yeah. Well, you know what they did? The kids were going to do a walkout that day, and they decided that at a certain time they were going to leave. Well, you know, it's a hub there. From the subway with the bus system, north and south and east and west.
Right.
Well, the mayor cut it off, and the kids were stuck. That's why you had all the teenagers there because they couldn't get home. None of the buses were running. The subway wasn't running, and then the park is just right across the street.
Right across the street. Yeah.
So they were doing construction over there. So the kids decided, they couldn't get home and the cops were there. They went over there and started getting bricks and started throwing bricks. And that's what started it all off.
Wow.
And you never heard her say anything about it.
Nope.
Nah.
She sure
nobody told them to break into Mondawmin, though. I thought it was funny. People were pulling up in their cars and everything.
That was the parents. The parents rolled up in those cars. You don't ride up in no cars and then run to the shoe store and start picking out your size, That was the
thing is, you rode up to the mall in your car, your license plate completely exposed.
Sure was.
Run out the car, go in the mall to grab stuff, then get back in your car and drive off. And that dude said, "We gonna find you." And I'll be damned if he ain't find each and every last one of them.
Oh, sure did.
That was easy. Well, that was dumbness on their part.
Yeah.
That was dumbness on their part, but
you
live and learn.
Ain't run down to no Townsend Mall to do that mess. I mean,
that was too far. It wasn't on the bus. It wasn't on the bus line.
Exactly. That's sad because when we were younger, if the bus ain't go there, we ain't go. My mother wasn't driving all the way out Towson just to take no. Nope. You better find your way. Find your way.
Exactly. Because we sure wasn't going to walk.
Oh, dude! One time I got to Mondawmin after the last bus and had to walk from Mondawmin all the way up to Security Mall.
You really wanted to walk, didn't you?
I didn't want to walk, but my mother said she was not driving down that far to get me. She said, if you get closer, I'll get you. But beyond that, nah.
That's a hump.
Yeah. At night. It was, the last bus had just left.
Oh no, she left you out there at night?
Yeah.
Did they have lights out? Did they have lights out there then?
They had, yeah, it was light, but still, me walking, I went through plenty of dark areas.
Oh man, you can have that shit. That shit's scary. You definitely wouldn't catch me out there now.
Oh no,
definitely.
This was back when I was a teenager. I'm 30 now. No, this was years ago.
You know, when you're young, you do a lot of stupid shit, so. Yeah. and never even think about it. So
right.
Have they always had those big big movie lights and stuff like shining all in people's homes? I'm like, how does that work? Like, how could you have
blue lights on the street corners?
Yeah, but they have sometimes they have those big spotlights. But
you mean in the neighborhoods?
Yeah, some of them be shining in the people's window.
What it is in they figured if you drop the spotlight in, and it's usually with the generator, you drop the spotlight in, it illuminates the whole area because the lighting, they hadn't upgraded the lighting in some of the areas, so people, you really can't identify who's doing what. Right. That type of thing, but it was normally people coming out of your area anyway. But the kids used to play underneath of them. It was like daytime.
right.
They dragged the portable hoop on down there, and they play basketball all night long.
Right.
So
on the city's dime.
Yeah, they did it for a long time. They don't do it too much anymore unless it's construction or something like that. You don't see it like that anymore. But especially when they had the riots, it was just like you just lit up the whole neighborhood for them.
Yeah. This is tightening up.
It is, but now I'm getting nervous because I'm scared.
I hate when the numbers get close.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be tight because there's still more votes to go.
Man, if Atlanta wasn't there,
right? If Atlanta wasn't there, forget about it. Like, if Atlanta and the surrounding areas of Atlanta were not there, and then it almost makes you think: was this the reason why Tyler Perry placed his studio there? Because the goal was eventually at some point flipping it. Even with the studio being down there, a lot of the shows being filmed down there.
But then too, you probably have to really hear the behind scenes, what they really offered him. Maybe he doesn't pay taxes, or maybe they gave him a good deal on the property or something. A lot of that goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure you got a good deal on the property.
Because everybody's vying for business to come into their areas.
Right. This is true, but this was actually before Kemp was even governor.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I say that they might have seen the potential in it actually flipping, and push for him to buy and create a studio down there.
So I know his studio's in Georgia. Is it in Atlanta directly?
I believe the outskirts. I think I'm not particularly sure, but it is.
So I mean, now would be a good time for him to start buying out land surrounding his studio.
Well, I mean, he has.
It out. Oh, he is? Okay. He could buy more homes, make a big freedom, Georgia. Whole Georgia is gonna be free.
Oh yeah. If you're going to do it right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. If you already got the land and they already welcoming you there, go for it.
Well, they welcoming his money more than him.
Well, yeah.
You take what you can.
Tadari said the old Army base wasn't worth what he paid for it. Yeah, but you have to look at how much you stand to make from it.
Right. Yeah. That part is
well, they already knew for Tyler Perry, we're gonna show out. We're gonna come and we're gonna support. So regardless of whether who likes him or who doesn't, Tyler Perry brings in money.
Yeah. I have to admit, I've been to a number of his plays. Yeah. Bad wigs and all.
Like with the mic on the forehead and all.
No, but that's standard. That's standard.
Yeah, I know.
Because I've been to a lot of Broadway plays, and it's depending upon what the costumes are, or when they went from the face mics to the one right in the very center.
Right. For all his ones, you'd be like, could you put the wig hair in front of it at least to block it? Right in the middle.
No, but the wigs were bad. They were bad.
Yeah,
It's like you went to the Korean hair store,
right?
But you were too busy laughing. You were too busy having a good time.
Yeah,
and that's all that matters. So
sure, he was definitely getting them church folks out there, boy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, shit, and you want black money? That's all you got to do.
He said it's in East Point,
Atlanta.
Yeah. Okay, which is 10 minutes. Okay, well that's pretty much
pretty convenient.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
Look at all the shows that are using his studios.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. The shows and the movie companies that are using the studio. It's a lot. Far more than they even say.
Yeah, they even say. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know The Walking Dead was using it.
Right.
And I mean, just so many, and all you always hear about, even though it's not one of his productions, what other movie that's coming along.
Yeah. You know who I think might be next to kind of create something on it? Shonda Rhimes. I think she.
Okay.
She
I can
might be coming into that thing.
Another person we're gonna support.
She might be coming into
definitely. That's like the one story you had. It might have been like Monday. Oh God, I forgot what you called it. The first black woman.
Oh, the press briefing.
That's who. Yeah, actual person that it was based on.
Ruby Smith. Yeah. She. People was put like, oh yeah, he finally have black people to do press. And I was like, y'all don't remember that? Because even when I was like,
but it wasn't televised.
Right. It wasn't. It not like it is now. Not like it is now. But I was like, I remember her. I was wondering why people were like, oh, well, they're the first, and like they're not the first to be in there. But okay, if we want to, push that thing.
No, it wasn't always Dominant Silk.
Right. Horrible people. I just them two. Jeez Louise.
And where are they at now?
Right.
Ducking and hiding.
Not even. Well, Fox News. Not Fox News, but Fox News. Their streaming service. That's what they were on. Like their streaming service kind of YouTube thing. That's what they were doing the show, and they were basically repeating the same stuff that Trump was saying. And then Fox canceled them. And then they wanted to come out and say how racist the Fox News network was, and this, that, and the other. And it was like, girl, sit down.
Yeah,
no one cares. You were drinking the Kool-Aid, right? Y'all out there drinking the Kool-Aid and serving it to everybody else. Ain't nobody paying y'all no mind.
They were passing the chitlins. That's what they were doing.
Not passing the chitlins.
I don't know if you guys know who Conscious Lee is, but he was talking about Christian Walker, and he kept calling him tap dancer, and I thought that was so funny.
Not cat dancer. Hold on. Let's do this. And this is the only Republican out of any show, that I like.
Where did they find him?
Oh, Nicole Wallace.
Yeah,
I was glad when she left The View.
Yeah, me too.
Because she just could not. She does much better here. The View was not it.
Yeah. I don't know what's wrong with Meghan McCain. I think she's just a spoiled child, and she just needs to.
Yeah. She's a Karen. She's a Karen. I mean, literally. I mean, believe me, I have folk in the family, and it's how they're raised.
Yeah, yeah.
It is how they're raised.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just shake my head.
Is The View mainly political? Because I've never actually watched The View. So what do they talk about?
Well, not you, nutmeg. They talk about a bunch of different issues. It's like a hot topics segment that they have, but everybody's like brings their own little thing. Like Whoopi and Joy are kind of the comedic relief. They always have a Republican component to kind of go against the Democrat or the liberal woman on the panel.
Yeah, they always have one that's really far right.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, real far, make you sick.
Center right, and then there's always one that's like, what are you talking about? Like Hackleback? She was, oh my gosh, like she was delusional. Like I just.
I was definitely glad when she left.
Yeah, she was definitely one that I was like, bye.
Did y'all see Death to 2020?
Who?
Death to 2020?
No. I hadn't seen that.
It's on Netflix.
On Netflix.
Watch it. Yes.
Oh, that's the one with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes.
Okay. No.
It is so funny.
It's funny.
And when you said that there's some lady that's far right, the lady who was on Friends, I can't remember her name, the blonde ditzy one, she was on there and she's like a Trump supporter and she's saying stuff and then immediately retracting it. She was like, well, Biden took money from Iran. And the director's like, well, what money did he get from Iran? She goes, what's Iran? Iran's not a real place. He goes, yes, it is. You just said it. She goes, no, I didn't. Like, it's funny as hell because she's like the stereotypical, like, Republican throughout the whole movie. It's really funny.
No,
they're scary.
Yeah. No, they really are. Like, they really are. Like, I mean, I know... Like someone on Twitter, the guy was, the lawyer for one of Trump's lawyers that was actually telling people not to vote in Georgia because it was crooked and all that stuff. And he was going back and forth. He was posting that Justice Roberts was involved in some kind of scandal and one of his children, not his, and all this other kind of stuff. And this one guy was like, he wouldn't say all this stuff if he didn't have the facts behind it. I'm like, buddy, he is. He's doing it right now. Like, and you guys support it. Like, you got to stop this. And I don't know, it's the Chief Justice. Like, do you know what kind of trouble this man could get into? Like, stop running after these people when they say this sick stuff. Like, kind of sit back, laugh at it if you want to, but don't jump to be defending when they start saying stuff like this about high-profile people like that, because not a good look. Definitely not a good look.
Well, you know what they say. If they said it on Fox News, it must be true.
Yeah.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, you know it's true.
I can't even do fucking. Rev looked like he got a filter on or something because he might even like.
Is he using my Dewey filter?
He uses something because he was just preaching like the other day and he had like all the the heavy wrinkles and stuff. They all
he must
some
be
Botox or something
like everybody else, huh?
They put the good makeup on him.
Mm-hmm.
It's called casket, right?
Yeah, get seriously casket ready. Because I tell you, when you see him in his suits and his head is about three sizes, three sizes too big and gigantic.
Like he gotta walk like with his head back so he won't tip over or something. Yeah, this is tight as hell.
Yeah. But I will tell you one thing that frightens me is the fact that thank goodness this was Trump, because what he's done is he's showed the cracks in our system. He's really showed the cracks in our system, and if they get someone who's intelligent enough and not so stuck on himself like he is, they could do some serious
do some damage.
He's done enough, and he's still doing a lot. But if they really get a real smart one in there,
right?
I mean, because they already have they have the backing.
Yep.
They
who's to say this wasn't a trial run?
No, I think it was.
It was, yeah. They were going to see how far they can push it. Yeah.
He's the sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
He's the sacrificial lamb. He's out there first.
Right.
And it's a reaction thing.
Right. To make you get comfortable with the language, with talking to people or talking them in that manner. Like, oh, get out of here. Oh, get these son of, all that. So you're not like, oh, what? I can't believe the president said that. Now the next person is going to come. He's going to be fine-tuned, but he's still going to have some talking resemblance of that.
People going to be saying how they missed the 4 years when America was great, and they're going to wait for another man to bring it back again.
Yeah, when was it? No,
nobody
but they were actually gearing up when Obama was in office, because they were coming out of their mouths,
right,
with just some of the craziest stuff that I never heard such disrespect to the office. So this has been going on before that.
Yeah, very much.
But now they actually had, when they had total control,
it's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, that this is what really scares me. The next one that pops up that actually has some common sense and really knows how to work the system, we're done. We're done for it.
Yeah, definitely.
So learn to utilize their tools against them.
Yeah, please do. It's important. But all right. So we've been on here for long enough, and I know I've been holding you guys hostage. And thank you so much for popping on. It's always great to see you guys. Antonio, brother Nate, I'm a brother from another mother and father. Yeah, we will still keep our eyes on this. God knows this will probably be into the wee hours of the morning, probably even a couple of days. So, don't walk away like in defeat, because there's still a lot of absentee ballots and mail-ins to be counted. So it's not over yet, but it's going to be tight nonetheless. Anybody have any last departing words?
Nothing.
Glad to be here as always. I love seeing everyone safely.
Oh yeah, and don't forget, guys. Of course, Thursday we will be back here for the gentleman's panel, because it is my turn at the posting. So I will.
Will there be drinks?
There will be.
Okay.
There will be drinks. There's always drinks on Cap Hill. You gotta have one to go with these people. So yeah, drinks are on the menu. Yeah, and other than that, you guys have a great night. Again, thank you once again for always, showing up and showing out. Tanari, thank you for popping on in. Brother Nate, thank you for what you do. Always a pleasure. Antonio, you're cool with me. Auntie Donna, Virginia Redbone, and everybody else in the chat. Thank you. Miss T Velocity, Gold Goods, everybody else. If I missed you, holding that to my heart and my, just trying to hurry up. I got stuff to do and time's a wasting. But love you guys. And peace out.
Good night.